Hi everyone, this is Andrew Ty and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be looking at this Blue Yeti Yeticaster set, which is a Blue Yeti microphone on a shock mount with this Blue Yeti arm. And it's all integrated into one single package and I'm quite excited to use it. I know that it's the prototypical YouTuber microphone and I know that there are much better options out there if I used an interface and a proper condenser mic. However, I just wanted something quite simple to use that I could switch between different computers quite quickly. So I want to use it on my PC, on my Mac, on my phone, and I just wanted something relatively easy to use, and this is why I've purchased this particular bundle. So I'm going to be doing a little unboxing and I'm going to be doing a comparison with my Rode smartLav. So I'm currently recording the audio that you can hear now on my smartLav microphone, which is a Rode microphone which I clip into my shirt. And we're just going to do a little comparison as well. And I bought this particular arm because I'm going to be mounting it on my desk and I'm going to be trying to put it out of the way. I'm going to show you my desk setup as well. Word of warning, first of all, I am really not an audiophile at all. I don't really know that much about microphones or speakers or audio in general. I just know that the way that my audio sounds, I'm not really happy with it at the moment, and this will hopefully improve things a lot. So let's unbox and have a look what's inside. So we have a kind of arm set here. Looks kind of nice and sturdy. Let me take it out. Yeah, so this looks like a fairly decent kind of arm. I can see it kind of has a nice kind of spring mechanism. I did read a lot of reviews about how this functions as an arm, and apparently there are better options, but this feels quite well made, and we'll see how this works. Next we have the microphone itself. This is the kind of famous Blue Yeti microphone. So one of the main things is that this doesn't come with its own table mount, so it only has the arm mount in this scenario. So if I wanted to mount this, I would need to buy a table mount. And you know, the first things I'll notice is we've got our standard kind of functions, volume for the headphone jack, and we've got the gain as well. So we can change the amount of volume we have when we actually speak inside it. And then what drew me to these microphones is the ability to set a pattern. So that means the kind of direction that the microphone picks up in, because I don't really want to pick up too much ambient noise from clicking and typing. So hopefully this is going to help with that. I'm going to put that down. We have a cable I'm going to open. So another interesting thing about the Blue Yeti is that we are using USB minis. So this is not the micro USB or USB-C even, but I don't really have an issue using an older style cable. In fact, they're a lot easier to find sturdy versions of these cables. So it's interesting they've given us quite a long one. This is good because I've got a standing desk, which means it's going to travel quite far. So let's see how long this is. So this feels like about 2 meters if I look at this. So we'll attach that to the computer later. So this is the manual, which is kind of the get started pack about the software setup, using a Mac OS 10 or 10.10, that's Yosemite or higher, or Windows 10. So yeah, we've got some very basic instructions here. This is the layout of the patterns. So we've got like a left and right stereo pattern, omnidirectional, and cardioid. So this is probably going to be the one that I'm going to be using because I only want it to record sound directly in front of the microphone rather than picking up lots of other sounds. We also have the bidirectional setting as well, which means that you can have kind of two people speaking, one in front and one behind the mic, and it will just pick up noises from those directions. That's quite cool. And then we have French instructions here. This is the instructions for the boom mic. So this is how to attach it. So we've got a desk mount here, and then we've got the kind of compass instructions here. Pretty cool. It's straight and to the point. We have the safety and warranty information here, which is nice. This is just a little tab for one of the mounts. Feels quite nice and solid. So this is the shock mount itself. So this allows us to mount the Blue Yeti onto this, and because of this, the kind of tension here, if you move or hit the arm, the vibrations won't travel into the microphone and ruin your recording. So this is quite cool. I mean, I did consider buying this whole kind of kit separately, but I did read that the Blue Yeti is quite a heavy mic, and you want one that's specifically kind of geared towards that weight. So I figured, you know, why don't we just buy the whole thing at once? The last bit looks like the actual desk clamp itself. This looks pretty solid, so we will just attach this to our desk, clamp it down, then we'll stick the arm in through there, and then mount the rest together. So returning back to these instructions on what to do, I'm going to mount my C-clamp, which is the desk clamp. Then I'm going to attach the shock mount, and then we're going to mount it in this kind of upside down fashion here. And then we'll be able to hide the wiring and then clamp it together and see how it works. Cool, so the first thing I'm going to do is mount my C-clamp. Let's just unscrew this a little bit. Then I'm going to clamp this into this. So that doesn't actually screw in, that's just in by the kind of pressure. So I can see here that there's an optional tension adjustment, which I can adjust using this Phillips head screw. I can increase the tension there, but really it just kind of slots in like that, and it feels pretty solid. So I can see that this, I've got this ability to hold the tension down a bit like that. Got a little bit of an adjustment lock here, so I can lock it down like that. And then I've got my arm there. Let's see how this works. I've got this option here, so I can do it in a kind of more traditional shape. Ooh. Okay, so I think it's going to hold down a bit if I actually mount this down properly. So I've got my arm like this, and I'm going to mount the shock arm like so. Let's see if this screws in just like that. A bit squeaky. Yeah, that feels pretty good. I mean, I read some reviews saying that this doesn't feel like a good quality arm, but it does feel pretty solid and decent. Now I'm going to mount this Blue Yeti in. So I've got my washer there, plug that there, put this on top, and then I'm going to screw this in. I think that should just work. Okay, pretty solid. Feel that shock mount. It's got that tension there, which is cool. You can feel it jiggling a bit. Just tighten that. I think that's, you know, kind of how the way it should be. So So I can see here the mini USB wants to go into the bottom of the Blue Yeti here, and then we're going to put the cabling into the actual channel that's there. So we've got some tiny clips here. Let's see if I can lift them. They're a little bit stiff. Yeah, but I use a screwdriver just to pull them up. So we're just going to place the USB cable into the channel itself, and then we'll lock it into place. Okay, so I've just been kind of setting it up and experimenting with the placement, and I've put the base slightly behind my MacBook arm so I can move this around independently, and then also I can have my actual microphone completely out of the way, and then when I'm kind of ready to do some recording, I'll be able to just kind of pull this in. So I'm still using my Devalue mic at the moment, but if I move my arm around, then I've got quite a lot of options to kind of move this. It seems quite stable at the moment, and I'm able to rotate this around, so if I'm on a Skype call or something, I can have not have that obscure my camera as well. But if I'm doing some video editing and I want to do a voiceover, I'll just pull this over and pull this closer to where I am standing, and then do a kind of voiceover straight into that. And I can even pull this in further like that. I can close my laptop and have it even closer to my mouth. So this seems like quite a flexible setup, and it's pretty good even though it's on an actual standing desk. So I'm actually standing up right here, and I'm able to kind of move the whole thing. If you have a look at my actual setup, if I, let's say, press this down, let's see how it actually moves. Yeah, the whole thing kind of moves pretty stable, not really moving much at all. So yeah, I really love my standing desk. It's the IKEA Beacon standing desk, and I could use a wider actual desk with considering how much stuff I have just in general. But overall, I'm quite happy. I like this arm setup, and I think I've got it in the right place. I'll see if that's the long-term position. But I can be in kind of work mode and then rotate it around, put it against the wall, and that's pretty safe and nicely tucked out of the way. So this is an experiment I'm going to do now. So I've got my smartLav attached to my jumper here, and then I'm also going to be recording at the same time with my Blue Yeti. So I've got the gain setting to about halfway, and I've got the cardioid setting on, and we're just going to see if this makes a big difference. So I'll record them both at the same time and play them back to back. So 3, 2, 1. So this is a copy of Rocket League running on the M1 Apple Silicon Mac under Parallels, and this version of the game can be played online, etc, etc. Testing 1, 2, 3. So this is a copy of Rocket League running on the M1 Apple Silicon Mac under Parallels, and this version of the game can be played online, etc, etc. Testing 1, 2, 3. So as you can hear, the audio quality of the Blue Yeti is much better than the Rode smartLav, and you can really hear my voice much more clearly. And I'm definitely going to be using the Blue Yeti going forward in all of the situations which I can accommodate it. Obviously the smartLav is going to be better when I'm out and about. However, I do most of my recordings in my office, so hopefully I'll be able to use the Blue Yeti going forward. So this video wouldn't be complete without doing a little bit of testing on the M1 Apple Silicon Mac. So now I'm going to plug my Blue Yeti into the M1 MacBook Air 2020. So now I've plugged in the Blue Yeti microphone using the mini USB cable into my MacBook. And as you can see here, it's showing up as the Yeti stereo microphone. And there's no particular drivers that need to be installed. It seems to just work natively on Big Sur and on the M1 Apple Silicon Mac. I've turned down the input volume a little bit down to 85%. The gain level is just slightly below the middle line, and it seems to work really well. So there's no particular reason why the Blue Yeti can't work on the M1 Apple Silicon Mac, and it seems to be working quite well. Anyway guys, I hope you found this video useful. I'm still very new to this audio recording game, and I can tell that there's going to be various issues with my setup. So if any of you audiophiles out there have any tips or tricks for me to improve the quality of my voice or the particular sound setup that I have, please let me know in the comments. Anyway, I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next tech video.